Hey there, it's Bijal, and today I'm going to share with you the review and planning methodology I use with a lot of my clients, specifically useful for this time of year as we kind of contemplate the year that's just gone and the year that's coming up. So in this, I'm going to take you through the RAPID process, which is the methodology I created from several source materials, which I'll also share with you, and also take you through aspects of the planning process that are more suitable for, say, larger clients, and the ones that I typically do for solopreneurs, professionals, and newbie entrepreneurs as well. So I'm going to just switch to screen view. I'm just going to go to the entire screen here. Okay, so let's look at this. So hopefully you're seeing a document. At the top of the document should be the words Beeline Program. So that's the program that this end of year methodology is part of. And really what we do is we help people stay on track. We help them get focused. We help them plan out their processes, projects, and we do that on a monthly, weekly, and daily basis. But we also do quarterly and end of year planning as well. So let me start with the resource. So where has this kind of body of knowledge come from? It's come from several sources, but the three that I pull from the most is Scaling Up, Traction / the EOS system, and also the business model generation as well, which is where, if you're familiar with, you may have seen the business model canvas, and the value proposition canvas is where that comes from as well. And there's links to all these resources as well in this document here. Now, what does RAPID stands for? So RAPID stands for Review, Align, Plan, Identify, and Declare. I've been teaching this and doing this work in workshops since 2015. We run it as high-end coaching programs, $5,000 upwards. We've done it as workshops, and now we basically do it as a very low-cost model. My vision was always, can I bring value to entrepreneurs for the price of coffee per day? So for less than basically a price of coffee per day, we can bring you a program that helps entrepreneurs stay on track and helps them understand the distinctions between a process and a project and how to best get both done on a more consistent basis. So let's dive into this. So review. So whether you are a solopreneur or a large business, a lot of this is applicable. I'll give you the distinctions between both as we go through this. But this is really applicable for both. So first of all, end of year review. What have some of the highlights been? What are your personal wins? What are some of the team wins? Some of the lowlights that things didn't work out? And why do we do that? Because we want to extract from that the learnings. What did you learn from your lowlights of the year that you can do better moving forward? Then we look at the metrics. Everything up to now has been opinion. Metrics don't lie. So what are some of the hardcore metrics that you track and measure? Revenue, expenses, profit, cash flow, unit sales, list size, group size, and you can use whatever metrics works for you. Then we look at core values. So we all have core values, or we should have core values, but what are some of your core actionable values? We'll talk more about values in just a second. And then how do you rate yourself against these core values? Let me just make sure I'm actually being seen here. Okay, good. All right. And it's just back here. From there, we look at what could you have done better? What could the team have done better? What behaviors and habits impeded your progress? Issues that need fixing and improvement, and new ideas and initiatives that you have thought about but not yet implemented. All right, that sets up the review part. Now we go into alignment. So this is the biggest section of everything. So I typically start, again, depending on the clientele. If it's smaller clients, we tend to skip over some of this stuff. So I put a red asterisk here of what I tend not to do with some of the smaller clients. But with the larger clients, we look at core values. So what are the core values? This is a good time, if you don't have them, to come up with your core values. And how will you rate yourself against these core values? Will you do a weekly check-in, monthly, quarterly? How are you going to rate yourself against your core values? Now, here's the thing. A good core value, and the reason I put the word actionable is that you want to have a core value that's actionable versus just a word. An example I show here is always tell the truth instead of just honesty. So honesty could be considered a value, but we want to create a core value that's an actionable core values. So you can rate yourself against that. Are you always telling the truth? Hopefully you are, but that's not always the case in this world of marketing. From there, we look at the value proposition canvas. Again, I typically will do this with larger clients, versus smaller clients. But if you're not familiar with the value proposition canvas, go to YouTube and you can learn more about it there. Very powerful, very simple way to better understand your clients. And then if people want to go for a much more deeper dive, then I have created a second sheet here, which allows someone to go into a much deeper, in-depth look at psychographics, demographics, and every other graphics to do with their ideal client. From there, we look at the positioning statement. How are you positioning yourself so that people understand what you do? From there, we come up with a brand promise and then a 3-year vivid vision. So that's what we do with some of the larger clients. But during the 3-hour session I just took a group of entrepreneurs through, we typically do a quick review and then we jump to, before that, then we wrap up with the business model canvas. This is basically your business on one page. Again, even if you're a solopreneur, you can still use the business model canvas. There are links here to learn more about that, right? So this is where you start. Typically start with a 12-month vision. Again, because we only have 3 hours, I focus really on the career and the business the portion of this, and allow the clients to work on the others. But from that, bullet points, we create a statement. And this is a statement. Imagine you're moving yourself forward 12 months into the future, and now you are giving a group of people, your board of advisors, your mastermind group, whoever, a 12-month review. So this is basically a review of 2021, okay, of the past 12 months. You're going to give this review in past tense of what the 2021 shaped up for you like. And in this, you're going to put in emotion, feeling, joy. The more excited you are about this vision statement, the better it is for you, right? Now, from that, we extract what are the 3 most important parts of your vision that if all you did was achieve those 3 things, it would be a game changer for you in your life. Now, from that, we look at what you have more control over and what you are more reliant on others to achieve for you, right? There may be some things that you do for other people where you are reliant on a client or a vendor to get something done, and it's a little bit out of your control. The economy is sometimes a little bit out of our control, right? But there are things that are in your control. So this is really to identify where you may want to focus a lot more of your time if things don't go to plan with the other stuff. From here, we talk about Q1 focus. Now we're going from 12 months to the quarter. What's your focus for the quarter? From the quarter, we go into the planning, which is now we're getting into more nuts and bolts with the 30-day focus. From there, we go into the week. So now we're getting granular. So here we start to look at the task level. So far we're talking about the project level. Now we look at the task level, and we start to look at how long will these tasks take. Because why do we do this? This is where entrepreneurs start to have a breakdown between their planning and their doing. Most of the time, they have very little idea how long these tasks will take. And thus, a lot of this stuff never ends up in the calendar. And I'm as guilty, which is why I'm passionate about this program, of continuing to do this work, because it keeps me accountable to get some of this stuff done as well. So this is where we look at the task level. We look at how long it's going to take you. And this is where if you have this, from here, we transition into something like Trello or Asana. And from here, your virtual assistant can actually help you plug this stuff into your calendar. The most successful people do not work from checklists. They work from their calendar. So if this stuff does not end up in your calendar, you are less likely to do it. And therefore, you are more a reactionary entrepreneur, which is you're reacting to things coming at you versus managing your workflow. And then from there, I like to help have my entrepreneurs, my clients, create a ideal daily routine. What does that look like in terms of a perfect day? And from there, we actually we identify. So part 4 is identify. We look at what we have to eliminate or limit in our life. So what are the activities that are sucking up time that are not producing results? What are some of the issues that may impede your progress? And then who can you have a discussion with around that? And then what kind of solution are you looking for? Is it a resource, information, skill, or emotional support? That's an acronym for rising over the challenge. And finally, we end with transformation. What about yourself has to transform, change, so that you are more likely to achieve the vision that you have created for yourself earlier on in the process? And finally, we come to declare, which is once you've done all this work, declaring is basically sharing your commitment to the activities, to the tasks, to the projects. And we do this on a monthly basis. Trying to declare your commitment to the whole year, it makes no sense, but we can at least make a commitment for the things coming up in the next week and possibly for the next month. So that is the process that I take my clients through. And the reason it's so important is because left to our own devices, we will not take the time to do this work. So if you're going to do the end of year review and planning, if you need help with that, reach out to me. But otherwise, just find a group of people who are willing to sit down with you for 2-3 hours, maybe online, and do this work for yourself. It's so critical to do this at this time of year. Then this is not just simply throwing some pictures up on a vision board. It's been proven time and time again that while that's a fun activity, it doesn't always lend itself to the detail that you really need to drive your business. Now, go ahead and enjoy doing that, but at some point you have to get a little bit more detail. You're going to spend some more time, and you have to really think, do some critical thinking about your business, what you need to get done, when are you going to get it done, in what order you're going to get it done, what priorities you're going to get it done, what are the projects you have to drive, what are the processes that have to be done on a daily and weekly basis. These are the questions you have to be asking yourself as you move into 2021 to give yourself that fighting chance of success against competition, against some of the economic challenges we're facing, and also knowing where your weak spots are, so that when you do this work correctly, you'll identify where the weak spots are, and you can then ask for help. Who is the right person, the right mentor, the right coach to help you with some of these challenges. Hopefully that's been of value to you. If you want help, again, if you find yourself overwhelmed, trying to do too much at the same time, you need help with planning, you need help to understand the distinction between a process and a project, and who do you outsource this work to. At some point, you're going to want to delegate a lot of the stuff out to other people. Then please leave me a comment, send me a message, and happy to see if this program is right for you. Until next time, wishing you a very happy New Year's, and wishing you a lot of success, health, and happiness for 2021. Bye for now.